what's going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to KGX to the ZTV. Here with a late one, little garage talk, match analysis, match review. Chelsea 4, Brighton 2. As I always do, I'd love to get you these reactions right after the game, right after the match, but sometimes I feel like it's better to watch it again twice to sort of pick up on things, especially when you're not as emotional, you're not caught in the moment and things like that. And this one, you could have definitely been caught at the moment. You could have cut this at halftime, and it would have been one of the games of the season so far. But Chelsea 4, Brighton 2. Another litmus test for us. Brighton came in undefeated. They had beaten Man United. They had drawn versus Arsenal, controversial Declan Rice red card and things like that. New manager, 31 years old. As Brighton always seems to be doing in these last 3-4 years, bringing in a lot of young players, a lot of quality, and things like that. So very, very big litmus test for us, right? Can we get some consistency off the back of 3 clean sheets in a row, 1-0 away to Bournemouth, 3-0 away to West Ham, and then 5-0 to Barrow midweek in the Carabao Cup. And then this one, like I said, Brighton's got players that can hurt us, that can hurt anybody. Danny Welbeck, Chelsea killer, Matoma on form, Mente, who didn't start, but yeah, just a really, really good squad, really young squad. Sort of mimics our idea and our approach, obviously, with all the backroom shakeups and turnover that we've got, courtesy of Brighton, all the players, Caicedo, Cucurella, and things like that. So, came into this one optimistic. Backing the boys, definitely good form, confidence high, no major concerns injury-wise. Lavia fit enough to get on the bench. Reece James still out. But apart from that, we were pretty much had the full complement of players. No major changes. Gusto got his full fitness back, played 90, played 45 midweek, and responded fairly well. So coming into it, yeah, very, very, very optimistic, but still a very young team. Brighton's shown some real quality so far this season. We know that they can score goals. We know how they're going to play. They're going to play expansive. They're going to play a high line, and very, very good test for us to see if we could not only continue the attacking prowess, but also kind of continue the defensive solidity that we've shown, which has been a far cry from what we saw in the preseason in that first match. Although that first match for City, we played a lot better than people gave us credit for. But yeah, this was it was a game of two halves, but not in the sense that the second half was poor or anything like that. But that first half, it was just madness, and it was from the beginning, right? We came out. I thought we were pressing very well high up the pitch. We won the ball a couple of times, turned into some attacks. Unfortunately, we weren't able to capitalize. Brighton sort of kind of got back into it after about 6-7 minutes in and started really, doing the same thing to us, pressing us high, not allowing Sanchez too much time on the ball to sort of either play it long or to sort of build up our attack from the back. And credit to them. They came with a game plan. They stuck to that game plan, that defensive high pressing, and they forced a mistake, or not so much forced a mistake, but they benefited from a mistake at the back. We had a ball in the box. Caicedo had won the ball, and instead of hoofing it upfield, he played it back to Colwell. Colwell tries to clear it, but he's under a little bit of pressure, so the ball gets deflected. It gets blocked a little bit. It ends up going straight in the air, and the last player in the box that we want winning a header, Cucurella, who's brave. He goes up against 2 and unfortunately loses out. And for some crazy reason, Sanchez comes into no man's land, comes off his line, doesn't even attempt to punch it because he doesn't get there, and next thing you know, the Brighton player, number 14, I can't remember what his name is, but he heads the ball. Gusto's on the line, is unable to clear it, and we're down 1-0, and you're just like, oh, God, this is 20, 23, 24, all over again with the defensive mistakes at the back, with the shaky keeper and things like that. But like we've seen so far with this team, and so far in this season, we responded. We went out and quickly, and when I mean quickly, we went out and scored. Um, Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer. I know last year we got criticized too much for being Cole Palmer FC. Um, and rightly so. I mean, he was fantastic last year for a debut season, a full debut season. His stats, his GNA was better than any of our legends, and right up there with some of the best seasons that our greatest players have had. The likes of Drogba, the likes of Lampard, Hazard, Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, Zola, all those guys. His season was right up there with it. So the question was, can he do it again? Can he keep and maintain those levels? And so far this year, he's been absolutely fantastic. And that first half was just the chef's fucking kiss, because he was incredible. And it wasn't just him. It wasn't just Cole Palmer just picking the ball up on the halfway line and just making, cutting through men and sliding it home. It was a combination of Jackson making some good runs. And then on the first one, we caught Jackson. And for some reason, Brighton persisted with a high line. And if you were going to play a high line against us, you better do it with the likes of Mickey Van de Ven, Virgil van Dijk, Kyle Walker, guys who have pace. Because if you've got 30-year-old Lewis Dunk back there and Adam Webster against Jackson, Madueke, Palmer pulling the strings, Sancho, you are going to get cooked. And that is exactly what we did. We hit Jackson over the top. He was through one-on-one. Jackson didn't have a great game, but credit to him. He came out, he kind of killed his own angle a little bit. Keeper did a pretty decent job, too, of shutting down his angle. Delayed it long enough to bring in Palmer. Palmer does what he does, slots it in. It's 1-1, and next thing you know, we are off and flying. We win a penalty for the second goal. Props to Jadon Sancho. That's 3 goals and 3 assists in 3 games. He does a great job of just playing a nice little 1-2 with Enzo in the box. Tries to get around 2 men. One guy blocks him off. Ref points to the spot. A little soft, but in this day and age, that's a penalty every day. Palmer does what he does, steps up and scores the penalty, and then gets his third, gets his hat trick shortly after. In between all that, he had some opportunities too. He hit the post. He put the ball in the back of the net, but was offside. And then the fourth one, just the free kick, just every time you watch it, it's one of those goals where every time you watch it, it gets a little bit better. You watch it from a side angle. You watch it from the angle from behind the goal. The man hits the side netting from about 30 yards out. And even post-match, he was like, hey, I haven't practiced too much free kicks, just kind of messing about, things like that. But, man, Cole Palmer, just no words, right? I remember getting him for $40 million a little bit late in the transfer window. Folks were saying, oh, you're spending $40 million on Palmer. You got Madueke. People thinking that he's not ready yet. He questions about whether or not he actually wanted to leave City, wanted to go out on loan. And given our history of letting go the likes of Salah, the likes of KDB to Wolfsburg and Fiorentina respectively, that's a KDB and Salah type blunder by Manchester City. So I just have to say, thank you. Thank you so much, Man City. $40 million, well spent. I'm not huge on valuations and things like that, because it's much like baseball, football, basketball cards, much like real estate. The value is what someone else will pay for him. But he is a $100 million player, hands down, right? Just the quality, the calmness, the way he can dictate matches, his finishing, his demeanor. Fantastic player. Now we do have to talk about Sanchez a little bit. Did give up the second goal again. Shades of Sanchez from last year, which is a shame, because you thought that starting to put together some good performances. Had the huge penalty save versus Bournemouth, but they just press him. Maresca said in the post match that at 3-1 he wants him to just hit it long, play it safe, but he plays the ball right to Baleba, and Baleba just slots it home. And at that point, it was 3-2, and you're just like, fuck, like, why are we giving them a lifeline? in a match where we've already squandered a few big chances. Even though we had 3 goals at that point, you're just like, we should be doing better. Um, we should be a little bit more secure. We should be a little bit more safe. We should be able to an experienced goaltender like Sanchez. He's not young. Should be reading the situation and just playing it safe, allowing everyone to sort of push up to regain our shape. Because really, Brighton, he didn't have too much work to do. He didn't have too many saves to do, even though he gave up 2 goals, but the two were basically of his own doing. It wasn't like Brighton was really peppering our post, and they were creating some chances and getting through, but we were limiting them from having great chances to okay chances and things like that. So, um, overall, just a really really good attacking performance. Jackson was disappointed to get subbed. Right, the subs that came on, all really good subs. Madueke was struggling a little bit on that right hand side. Had some opportunities to either play, a couple of nice passes, but didn't. Took the selfish route, missed a couple of shots. But we overall, like I said, kudos to Maresca. Made the right subs, 2, 3, 4 matches in a row. Had the lineup right. Had the tactics right. He understood early on that Brighton was playing a high line, so he said, you know what? Forget building up in the midfield, right? When you look back at the game and you look back at the control, you judge Enzo, you judge Madueke, you judge Caicedo, and you're like, they were relatively quiet, right? They didn't have to do much, and a lot of it was just because we were just playing balls over the top. Colwell was playing balls over the top. Fafana played a couple. The Trying to think of who else. I mean, just it was one of those situations where it was nice to see us come with a game plan and then just adapt to what Brighton was giving and just taking advantage of that. So props to Maresca, props to the team. We've got a midweek UECL, Europa League Conference League game, and then another one on the weekend at home versus Nottingham Forest. So very, very important for us to go into the next international break, because after that things get sticky, right? Coming out of the national break, I think it's a 12:30 lunchtime kickoff at Anfield versus Liverpool. So then I believe we've got United in there. I think we've got Arsenal or Spurs somewhere sniffing around. So things are going to get serious really quickly, and especially with the FA Cup. We're going to I think we have Newcastle in there too, and then Newcastle plays their plays their scheduled match that was postponed due to field conditions. So I think we're going to play Newcastle twice in like 3 days. So things are going to get really sticky. So this is going to be a great opportunity for Maresca to utilize the entire squad and for us, the quality that we have, especially in attack, to get folks minutes and to kind of keep folks firing on all cylinders, create that healthy competition to sort of push young players so they can progress. So, yeah, man, things are looking good. No complaints. As we know, things can change, especially with a young squad. So, as always, up the chills. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, and we will see you at the next one. Peace.